Hello, I'm Josh Court and this is Matthew Coulson and welcome to the Prem Life. So this weekend we didn't have that many exciting games. I mean, every weekend of the Premier League is so exciting that when there's not extreme excitement it seems a bit boring. Not really, but in Premier League terms anyway. So we'll be focusing on the Chelsea game and all the excitement of that game, and then on to the Liverpool game versus Newcastle. So the first talking point of the Chelsea game is they go 1-0 down to Cardiff, and then Ep8 strikes. It's against the rules, as has been proven. It's in the rule book that you're not allowed to take the ball when the keeper's intentionally bouncing it. Your thoughts?
I'm not convinced that it's in the rule book per se, because I think that the ref would have picked up on it if it was. So I think what you're referring to is the Van Persie incident a couple of years ago, where he got blown up for it, and I think this would come under unsportsmanlike conduct, which a ref is allowed to deem anything unsportsmanlike conduct and pull the player up. And obviously gave a yellow that day as well to Van Persie, I think. But then this ref decided it wasn't unsportsmanlike conduct. So I mean, the consistency isn't there, but
makes it more exciting.
Yeah. Anyway.
As long as you're not a Cardiff fan.
So I don't think the ref can particularly be blamed. I mean, I don't know which ref is right, which one's wrong. I actually think it's just a clever trick by it. I'm not sure it is unsportsmanlike, but.
And then Chelsea are 3-1 up. Mourinho is swearing at the referee for Cardiff time wasting, where he gets sent off. I feel, and I know most people tell me I'm wrong, Mourinho did it on purpose because he wanted pressure off his players. Because I just can't see why would he get so upset if he was 3-1 up. And why would Cardiff time waste? And that was, I mean, that's not my words, that's what I was complaining about. That's what the commentators were saying, that he was complaining about time wasting.
Right, well, we're going into some heavy conspiracy theories here.
Cool. 9/11, I was like, that's
Yeah, I think there's always a lot more to it. I mean, Mourinho might have just been upset early in the game, shouting at the ref a lot, he's down, he's feeling under pressure, and then he carries on, feels the ref's against him, something like that. Reputation, but has enough. You don't really know. So I know Mourinho does those sort of things, and he often in press conferences does all kinds of weird tricks to take the pressure off. But in this case, I don't think he really cares that much about whether the goal was legal or not to pull a stunt like that.
Sure. Onto the Liverpool-Newcastle game, which was also quite a exciting game in terms of the scoreline. I mean, if you watch the game, you'll know that Liverpool actually dominated the entire game. But what boggles the mind for me is Newcastle's offensive tactics coming into the game, which was, in my opinion, as soon as the ball got into the Liverpool half, just hit a ranger. Because I actually can't, I mean, I'm open to be criticized, but I don't remember Newcastle, besides say a corner or their free kick goal, I don't remember Newcastle ever trying to build it up into the box and then get it in to try have a shot. It was just every time they got the ball in their half, it was as fast as you can get that long shot away, because you don't lose the ball kind of thing and let Liverpool have a go at us.
For sure. I mean, firstly they lost 6-0 last year. That was not nice to take. But they did get down the flanks a couple of times, put the ball in the box. No one in there. You know what I mean? I think Ben Arthur was the only striker backing him to beat Skirtle, Saka, and who was the other one? Torre. So, look, they went extremely defensive from the start. There were two lines definitely of players. It was like play quite a high defensive line and deep midfield, compress the space, Liverpool have no space, don't let them rip us apart like last time, sort of thing. And then what do you do when you get into the opposition half and you don't want to get caught on the counter? Well,
take an offer forward.
Just take the shot on. But I think it also had to do with Liverpool's tactics, where they played a very sort of flat midfield too, Henderson and Gerrard. So they sort of tried to shift with each other, and Gerrard's just doesn't have the pace he used to. So Henderson would push on, try and be the aggressor. Gerrard would fill in the hole for him, and then if you shift it quickly, you can get it across and get in Gerrard's area that he's not covering with no out and out defensive mid. So if they had Lucas there, I'm sure they would have shut down those sort of shots. But
and another controversial comment from my side here, the
piling them on.
Yeah, exactly, getting feeling lucky. So the Suarez penalty, or the MB were given away penalty for so. Right. It was a red card, it was a penalty, it was a tug. And there's no reason why he would do it, but I felt as Suarez really wanted to, he could have stayed up. But there's no reason why he would, and I'm not suggesting he should have at all. He should have gone down because he gets a penalty plus a red card, where if he'd stayed up and he tried to flick a shot like he did against when they won 4-1, was the Cardiff, where he was on the ground and he flicked it in, and he would have probably scored a similar goal there. Just put it at a 50-50 chance of scoring versus getting a penalty and a red card. You know, obviously the smart thing, not saying Suarez is a diver or anything like that, not hate reaching Suarez. I just think he could have stayed. I don't think he should have. But no one else has said that he could have if he wanted. Everyone's saying that he was dragged to the ground, which I don't think is fair. He was pulled back, which is a foul. He was MB was last man, that's a red, and it was in the box, so it's a penalty.
Well, this is the problem, isn't it? Is that I think at least 50% of fouls these days you could stay on your feet.
Yeah,
but if you do, the ref's never going to give you a foul anymore. It's the problem with refereeing, and it's the problem with, I mean, you try and tell a ref that a guy, if he doesn't go onto the floor, give a foul. I mean, they'll think you're crazy. I mean,
of course.
So you have to go down. You have to play the game. And
no, of course. If he,
I mean, he probably could have stayed on his feet.
But I mean, it would have been madness. But Suarez too, he stayed on his feet. Why would he? Wouldn't got any benefit.
And he had to prove it. Which
is the way of the league at the moment. And Sturridge still scoring goals. 7 goals on the Premier League. Leaving Van Persie in the dust.
In great form or anything. I mean, he did start well, but recently hasn't looked all that special. Just getting a chance to bring them with.
And the last point is just a bit of a bonus. Arsenal scored a few exciting goals, which I feel we haven't actually seen from them in the last 2 seasons, because I felt like in the last 2 seasons they've been trying to play a bit of a more European, not defensive. I know Arsenal are playing defensive, but a more type of football that's less about playing the football and more about scoring the goals. And in terms of, if you remember a few seasons ago, Arsenal would get play. I think
Chelsea, they've just been a bit more direct and counter-attacking last couple of years.
So it hasn't been looking as good in the passing.
They're committing a few more men forward as well.
But in the previous years, they would pass Chelsea and United, and they wouldn't score. And Chelsea have one chance, one counter-attack, score, and then, Arsenal were left exposed, and then they go 3-0 down to Drogba and co. That's what happened every year for the last 5 seasons before Drogba left, and, you had Rooney and Van Persie tearing up Arsenal every season. It was that same. So Arsenal have tried to play a bit more of a different style these days to counter, let's say, getting thrashed with their passing football and not actually direct enough into scoring goals. So it's nice to see that they're passing goals, Wilshere and Giroud. Was it a bit of a fluke, the Giroud and Wilshere goal?
Well, it's a great goal. It's a fantastic goal. And, you try that sort of thing, it'll come off once in 100. Yeah. So, I don't know, as a coach, are you happy when people try that?
Training ground practice.
It's like when you see someone take a shot from 50 meters out or something. You just go, but, it's a fantastic goal at the end of the day.
For me,
you gotta give them credit.
For me, Giroud, when he passed it back to Wilshere wasn't flicking up his leg thinking, I'm going to pass that back to Giroud. No. He was trying to get something on that. And by fluke, that went to Giroud. But for me, when it came back to Giroud, not Giroud went, I'm going to put the ball right here. It's going to go to Wilshere's foot. He also flicked it on, but he was actually flicking it on into an area. Not that it was going straight to Wilshere's foot, but he was trying to flick it on into an area, which I think was, let's say, half a fluke rather than a full fluke. And honestly, the Wilshere, you know what he was doing with the finish.
Fantastic.
So, great goal. Anyway, if you have any comments or thoughts on any of the topics today, use the hashtag #ThePremLife on Twitter or the email thepremlife@gmail.com. Thanks.